So Boruto is a very controversial anime, to say the least. You got people who love it and it's like a cult loving, and then you got people who absolutely hate it and it's like a cult hatred. It was the biggest anime meme and the biggest joke for so long, and still kind of is, but it's died down a little bit. But I wanted to make a video about just Boruto, the series, and I thought, you know what better way to make a video than to make a title that will trigger the other half, and then have the contents of the video piss both sides off and get them both mad at me. Because more than likely both sides are the minority, but they are the very vocal minority. I feel like most people, or at least I hope most people, are like me, which is kind of somewhere in the murky middle. You're really kind of unsure. So I'm ready to spark up some discussion, and I hope y'all will watch the video all the way through, not just listen to the part that you like and ignore the part that you don't like. Try to accept some criticisms for both sides if you click this video because you're like, nah, Boruto is trash. Or if you're like, nah, Boruto is the best anime. It is the pinnacle of all anime ever released. Better than Naruto Shippuden. Because honestly, y'all are both some damn clowns, bro. Y'all are both some damn clowns. Start off the video pretty well, already insulting both sides.
All right, hell yeah.
One disclaimer before we get into it, all this is opinionated, bro. It's all my opinion. You can say my opinion's wrong, but it is my opinion, and I'm sure it's probably going to be a war in the comment section, but I'm excited to read everybody get triggered. So a lot of people hate Boruto for multiple reasons. For example, the show is pretty slow. Boruto is a brat. All the main characters are like cast aside. Naruto and Sasuke feel nerfed / weakened, and the list goes on and on. So there's a lot of reasons to hate Boruto, but to blindly hate it is kind of also ignorant. But I completely understand why they would drop the show. Obviously, real quick, Boruto spoilers, and I've only seen up to episode 111, but I feel like after watching a lot of the anime canon and the filler and the manga canon that the anime has to offer, I feel like I can talk about it at least a little bit. I may make an update video later down the future when Boruto Shippuden is released or something. But like I was saying, I think it's completely understandable people would just drop the series after like the first 50 episodes, bro, before they even get to like episode 50, bro. Because if you really think about it, with the two brain cells, my two brain cells are rubbing together, Boruto was being released weekly, and he really was a brat up until like the Chunin exams arc and like after Momoshiki and all that. So he was a brat for like 50 plus episodes. There are 52 weeks in a year, so some people watched this series for a whole year, weekly, of Boruto being the biggest brat of probably most anime history, at least of the Naruto universe history, besides like Danzo, fuck that guy, but you know what I mean. So that's completely understandable. People dropped it, people were hating on it, and that's why it was so easy to jump on the hate bandwagon, especially after coming from Shippuden. Even if the fourth Great Ninja War wasn't spectacular, it still was like a godsend art compared to Boruto and how he acted toward his father, the beloved Naruto Uzumaki, bro. So I think at the very least, you could watch Boruto, just the manga canon. Just wait for Shippuden to come out, which is probably what Boruto Shippuden, I guess. But wait for that to come out, the next series when Boruto is older, and wait for all the manga to come out, and there we go. Because another argument I have against this is you probably should expect this from the Naruto series. Naruto and Naruto Shippuden both had a ton of filler, and well, I guess, yeah, they just had a filler. It wasn't even anime canon. The difference is a lot of people were able to watch Naruto or Naruto Shippuden all the way through in like one go without having to wait. You could skip all the filler you want. You could just watch the manga canon, watch the interesting bits, and that was it. And it was a pretty great series because you didn't have to sit there and watch through all of that filler. I know I did not. I think the Infinite Tsukiyomi filler actually lasted a whole year in real time. There were a bunch of people complaining about that too in the Shippuden comments and stuff. And obviously that's a criticism of Naruto, but coming from that series, I don't think it should be too much of a surprise that Boruto has just as much. And you could also argue that you should be liking that. You should be liking the character development and the series building. Well, brother, sometimes it's a bit too much, because let me explain. The people who love Boruto, the people who absolutely adore it and hold it on the golden pedestal of all anime, and it's better than Naruto and it's better than Shippuden, it's the best shonen of all time, y'all need to relax too, because there are definitely some faults within Boruto which cannot just be blindly ignored. Now trust me, I've done that. My other channel, I made a bunch of videos about why people should not be hating Fairy Tail, and it's like one of the best shonen. We're not gonna talk about that section of my life. Anyway, I've been there, so I know how it feels when you just like really enjoy the series and you really enjoy the characters and the world development, but not everybody has to hold that same opinion. So just on the other side of the polarization, the loving side, no, I do not think that Boruto is like better than Naruto or better than Shippuden, but I think it should be expected that there are tons of filler just like in those series. And yes, some Boruto arcs are drawn out. Like for example, the Mitsuki's disappearance arc, there were some episodes which just were not necessary at all. But then again, the same could also be said for Shippuden and Naruto. There are some episodes of those two series too. So I digress, but that is like my main counterpoint to like both sides. There are definitely some issues with Boruto, and there are definitely some things to like about Boruto. And I actually did make a community post that I asked, what are your praises of Boruto? What are your complaints of Boruto? And we are going to get into those because there are some pretty interesting takes. So for the people like me, and I hope this video may even influence some people to think more like me and just see some things that are like, you know what, I don't really like that as much, or you know what, I hated Boruto too much. Let me try to give it another chance. Just at the very least, watch the manga canon and skip the anime filler. So for me, because my opinion's in the middle, I don't necessarily hate Boruto, don't necessarily absolutely love Boruto. So that is my positioning. I'm not going to blindly ignore all the hate that the show gets, because it would not be getting this much hate if there wasn't at least some sort of reasonable points that people make. And other people can be like, yeah, I agree. But I do agree, it has become a bandwagon joke, and they also don't look at the other side, the reason why people actually love the show. And obviously, if you hate Boruto, even after he transformed and character development and he stopped being such a brat, effectively, that's your opinion, obviously. And if you love Boruto and you loved him when he was a brat and you loved him for all the faults and you loved the show for all the faults, obviously that's your opinion too. But I hope this video can like at least pull some people more toward the middle and not be obnoxious, because honestly, people on both sides are kind of obnoxious. I'm not gonna cap. Seeing tons of people just blindly hate on the show for no reason, and when they haven't even got past like episode 12, obviously, like I said earlier, it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, how are you gonna talk shit on a show that you actually haven't watched? And the people who blindly love and adore the show, that you can't say a single criticism on it without them absolutely losing their minds because you dared to say something that was not in agreement with their opinion. So those are my honest opinions about people who love and hate and are in the middle on Boruto. Let's get into some comments from my community post that I mentioned earlier and see what y'all's hot takes are about the series. Unpopular opinion, Boruto series would have been a lot better and less hated if it was a seasonal anime, considering the manga is monthly. That's facts too, because I'm pretty sure the manga, yeah, is being released monthly, and Boruto the anime is weekly, so they have to make up some sort of filler and like just expand on the series more because they don't have enough manga canon to make just the whole series manga canon. That's facts. Praise, manga is on fire right now. Complaint, only one chapter a month. Anime, well, I don't care much. I just watch it for fun character development and for more of OG characters. Yeah, I heard the manga does not have nowhere near as much like character development, and it doesn't expand on everything as much as the anime does. So that's the plus side for the anime. Praises, the power system and the designs are unique as Naruto. I mean, it's kind of cap, bro. Yes, there are some unique things and some unique people and unique abilities in Boruto, but the arc I just finished up, it was basically like a heat on V2. All the kids pretty much are just their parents V2. That's not really unique at all. They just the same, literally like the same design too, pretty much effectively. And then the Otsutsuki are chilling, and that was from Shippuden, but so it's not necessarily unique, but they did expand on it more. And there are some other powers and jutsus and stuff which are super unique and cool in Boruto, like Namida's scream, Wasabi's cat mode. Those are pretty unique and cool actually though. Complaints, they don't just jump into the main story, they're delaying and delaying. That's fact. Sometimes it's just too drawn out and it's just kind of frustrating sometimes, especially after we know what we're gonna get when we get to the manga canon, like with Momoshiki, bruh. That was like that's a goated episode in anime. Like even people who just hate on Boruto is like, yeah, episode 65 though, bruh. So we got a long one here, fixing a lot of flaws that developed in Shippuden. Power scaling, I know people complain that they nerfed Sasuke and Naruto, but who actually liked them when they were god level unstoppable? I mean, I mean, sometimes it's kind of sick though. The fights are pretty good, mainly sticking to the actual hand-to-hand combat. That's true. The fights are pretty sick, along with small tricks, but there's still those god level fights, just the one so far. I actually like that it's slower paced and there's a lot more emphasis on the entire Genins, not just Boruto. That's true. By the end of the Shippuden, it was just Naruto and Sasuke. All the side characters were forgotten. That's true. Complaints now. Fleshing out I do love the fleshing out of the characters a lot, but a lot of their stories and developments are not compelling. That's also facts. I don't really have anything to add on to it except for that's facts. I also don't like how disjointed the anime original arcs fit with the manga canon arcs, or it just feels like the characters forgot about the plot and then suddenly remember. Although in newer episodes, they're tying everything together. I have not caught up to the new episodes. Like I said, I'm on 111, and I think the anime right now just released like episode 172 or 174 or something like that. I actually love this series. I don't really have a problem with any of it. The one thing I would have to say is that they delayed the main story too much, but I understand why, and also it's cool to see. And that's completely reasonable. Like, people who just love the series for what it is, that's fine, bro. That's fine. Even if you don't care about any of the flaws or anything and you don't care, you just want to watch a series just because you like it and it's the Naruto universe, that's obviously fine. Man, this main video is just talking about the people who absolutely love it and want to make other people absolutely love it. I probably should have explained that in the beginning, because now people are going to be like, I can't just like the series, or I can't just hate the series. Likewise with the hatred. If you hate Boruto and you don't want to watch it, I don't care. That's completely fine. It's just the people who like to shit on it and constantly try to formulate other people's opinions into their own. That's the main issue. Praises, openings are pretty good. Yeah, I do enjoy the openings, but so are Naruto's and Naruto Shippuden's. Complaint, it's slow and a lot of episodes are boring. Talked about that a little bit. I kind of agree sometimes. Praises, arcs like the Mitsuki disappearance arc and other arcs ahead, like the currently running one in the anime, I don't want to spoil. They set up manga arcs really well and flesh out manga moments. I don't necessarily know if this is true or not because I have not caught up or read the manga or anything, but Mitsuki's disappearance arc, I can see where it would tie into manga moments. But bro, some of those episodes were just so damn slow and unnecessary. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel about it. But it wasn't unenjoyable. Like, the hype moments were not unenjoyable. But I didn't really care about any of the artificial humans or anything. Besides Sekie, he was kind of sad. Because of this, the anime feels really slow at times and pretty boring, but I still appreciate what they do for the manga content with anime canon. Okay. So he feels the same way, but feels like it's worth it in the end with the manga canon content. So, all right, I haven't read the manga, so I'm interested to see when the manga gets adapted a lot more. I love how the characters are written in this series. Character development's on point. I can definitely see that, especially with Boruto. He was such a brat for so long, and it was such a relief when he finally changed. Complaints, some filler episodes are just bad and doesn't even connect to the story. I'm talking about Chocho. Yeah, all my homies hate Chocho. Fuck Chocho. No, I'm about to get crusaded for that too, ain't I? Naruto and Hinata did not get enough moments together. Yeah, bro, I would have honestly loved this series first in between Naruto, Shippuden, and Boruto of all of the characters like growing up. I would have loved that. I would have absolutely loved that. Not just seeing 17-year-old Naruto, okay, 30-year-old Naruto, or however old he is now. If we're gonna see a bunch of slice of life in Boruto, I would have at least liked to see with the main characters first, or the OG characters, because we actually had some sort of connection with them. And I'm very interested in how they like started dating, like Choji and Karui, the girls, the waifus. What happened to other baddies, bro? Yeah, like they kind of did my girl Anko dirty, I ain't gonna lie. But not gonna lie, Hanabi's super bad, bro. Hanabi though, don't get me started on Hanabi, bro. God dang. I need more Himawari content. Yeah, Himawari is adorable. The existence of Mitsuki, I don't know if that's a pro or a con. I'm going to go ahead and assume that is a pro because Mitsuki's is the GOAT. I love Mitsuki. Complaint, needs better villains and more feels. That is a fact. That is a fact. But then again, at the same time, compared to original Naruto, the first series of Naruto, they didn't have too many like awesome villains. Like when I think of awesome Naruto villains, I usually think of like Pain and Itachi and those feels, and like Jiraiya obviously wasn't a villain, but like Obito and Kakashi and Madara, like they all had some deep emotional connection. Like there's probably a ton more that I'm not saying or can't think of right now, but that's all in Shippuden, the second series. So if Boruto has another series, or even later down in the Boruto series, then they could have better villains and more feels too. But right now, definitely not really connected to any villains. Don't feel bad for anybody. It's pretty much always black and white of who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. When in Shippuden, they did really well making like a gray area. Like you had so many people arguing for the villains, which is pretty rare. But the problem is not really the case in Boruto. But also the devil's advocate part, like I said, you do have to consider that was Shippuden, not original Naruto. Comparing the first 100 episodes of Naruto, of original Naruto, to Boruto, I can't think of too many awesome villains besides like Orochimaru. He killed Hiruzen, actually. That was pretty feels too. We saw some awesome jutsu back then too. Damn. I'm pretty sure, oh yeah, Sasuke was also starting to become a villain too, or an antagonist. Complaints don't follow the manga as much as Naruto. I think that's because, like we said earlier, that earlier comment, the manga is monthly, but the anime is weekly. Praise, the female characters are actually getting more character development and screen time than the female characters in Naruto. That's facts, bro. That is straight facts. Kishimoto cannot write a female character. I'm sorry. Like, Sarada actually feels like she is a part of Team 7. When Sakura stopped feeling like she was a part of Team 7 after like the first arc, the Zabuza arc of Naruto. Like after that, I was like, yeah, she's strong and she's a medical ninja and all this. You can make whatever excuse you want, but you got Naruto and Sasuke, and then you got Sakura. When in Boruto, it really feels like it's Mitsuki, Boruto, and Sarada. Like they're all on the pretty much the same equivalent level. And I love that. And I love how Sakura is like a lot stronger and a lot more feared in Boruto too than Naruto. Like even Tsunade was such a badass at the beginning and then just quickly just fell off. Like she was a Sannin and she was awesome. And then in Shippuden, she was crying for Naruto to save her, and she didn't do anything else after like original Naruto. So I do agree with that, actually. I do agree. One complaint, Boruto and Himawari totally sucked those mommy milkers. Yeah, that is my complaint too. I want them, bruh. To be not the mommy milkers. Sheesh. Boruto would be better if they didn't change Naruto and Gaara's hairstyle. Definitely agree with Gaara, bro. They turned that man... I don't even have any words, bro. They just did him dirty. And Naruto... I feel like it's like a symbolism of, okay, he has long hair, he's like immature, he's not getting it cut, and then when he gets it cut, then he's like, okay, now it's mature Naruto. And then when Boruto gets older and the third series comes out of Boruto, then Boruto will get his hair cut and Boruto will get the long hair. The only complaint I have is most of them are overpowered compared to their age. I think in Naruto, there's a feeling of, I need to work hard to become stronger kind of vibe. While in Boruto, all you need to do is have a strong parent and you're good to go. Also kind of facts. At least we don't see the training nowhere near as much as Naruto. And that is true. It kind of gives that vibe of like, I want to become stronger. I want to become Hokage. I need to get stronger. And everybody has that mentality. When in Boruto, nobody really has that mentality right now. Nobody's like, I need to get stronger so I can do this, because Boruto doesn't really have anything that he wants right now, I guess. So he's not saying that. And Sarada's not the main character, so we don't hear in her mind, I need to work harder so I can become Hokage, and her go on like missions or train a lot. Because we saw Rock Lee in original Naruto and Might Guy in Shippuden when they were kids, and they were just training their asses off. Like thousands of push-ups, thousands of sit-ups, thousands of miles running, and we don't see that of Metal Lee. Is he doing it? Probably. We've seen like a couple of clips of him rock climbing, but nowhere near as emphasized as those other two series. So that's also kind of true. I do agree with that. No complaints, but better than Naruto. That's cap. That's all of our questions. That is all of our questions today. So this was pretty interesting. I love to read comments and like highlight them and stuff, because it does give a unique perspective and like what different people think and things. But let me know what y'all thought about what I said. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. Honestly, I like to play the devil's advocate and be like, yeah, I can agree with you that Boruto is kind of fails at this part, or I can agree with you that Boruto excels at this part and it does really well. Devil's advocate out of the way. I'm not completely neutral. I do think Boruto is better than it is bad, because it has some awesome soundtracks. It did pull out the heartstrings when it was manga canon. The slower episodes in the anime canon or the filler only episodes can be kind of excused by the fact that kind of gotta expect that it's the Naruto series. Naruto and Naruto Shippuden had the exact same thing. Animation obviously on point. I love the Boruto animation when it has like that good animation, that fluidity and the blockiness. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Just like the pain fight, I absolutely love that style of animation, and that's definitely gonna get some bonus points for me. The character development, the world building, slow as it may be, it does, I guess, make for a really good story. Even if you do stick through those slow episodes, it does make for a pretty good story, pretty good arcs. And but all those other opinions that we talked about are also valid, like the questions. And then my dislikes, personally, some episodes are slow, not really any good villains so far, not really anything too dangerous or spectacular besides like Momoshiki, and that was pretty dangerous and everything. That's pretty much my only Boruto complaints. It's just pretty slow sometimes. Boruto was a brat, but that's not even a complaint for me anymore because he's not anymore. He's developed and he's not a brat. I do kind of apologize for like the clickbait title, the clickbaitish title, why Boruto is a masterpiece, but I kind of just titled it, Boruto is not that bad. Nobody would click on it and nobody would click on it to discuss things. I wanted to spark up some discussion and try to turn this Boruto hate train around. I know it's died off a lot more recently, but I still think it got a lot more hate than it deserved because I don't know, bro. I just don't think that Boruto is a bad anime. I think there are definitely worse anime you could watch, especially like I said, if you just watch the manga canon, it's good. It's really good. The manga canon that's out and that's animated that I've seen has been really good, and I really enjoyed it. And as again, these are all personal opinions, all subjective. Let me know what y'all's opinions and subjective thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm excited to see y'all's comments. Thank y'all for watching this Boruto like discussion video. And as always, I'll see you swole bodies next Friday. Hopefully, peace.